we have a catcher in here. He's been on our show quite a few times, and we had a pitcher in Joba. We're now talking to former Athletics, Mets, and Giants catcher, Bruce Maxwell. Bruce, what's up, buddy?
What's going on, man? How are you guys?
We're good, man. Are you in Mexico right now? Is that where you are?
No, I'm in California, actually.
Oh, thank God. I mean,
Mexico. Same thing.
Yeah, but you were in Mexico when all that stuff was going on over there with the, with the Cuban, but not the Cuban. I'm sorry, the drug bust or whatever was going on over there, right? You were there.
You talking about when Chapo's son got grabbed?
Yeah, there you go. You were there, weren't you?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I was. It was.
Were you one of those guys hiding under your dinner table or something like that when shots were going off?
No, hey, what was crazy about that was we were in the playoffs for Winter Bowl. We were in, I think we were in Navajo maybe playing, and we had to delay our trip back to our city because the whole state of Sinaloa was, the cartel had like closed every entry point. So we had to literally stay another night before we could return because our team was in Los Mochis, which is not far from obviously from Culiacan, but we couldn't even enter back into the city. It was insane.
Well, I mean, anything with a drug bust or catching any of these people, hiding in tunnels. I mean, could you imagine Speedy popping his head out of a tunnel and they were looking for him? Could you imagine that? I mean, he'll take off his underwear and wave it up like a flag.
He's throwing the white flag.
The white flag. It's his underwear. He's got holes in many different directions, right, Speedy?
I probably would if there were bullet holes in them.
That's true.
Pain.
I mean, I wouldn't feel it because I'd probably be dead.
Oh, man. Wait, by the way, Fish found out why everything was going on. It was the Jets video. So thank you to the New York Jets for obviously.
Oh, it would be your team, ass. It would be yours.
My team. I can't stand that freaking team. You know what? I am waiving my fandom of the New York Jets. I'm completely waiving. I am not a Jet fan anymore.
What, are you going to be a Giants fan?
No, I am a nobody fan.
I've tried, Bruce, believe me.
I am a nobody fan. I am my own fan. I'll wear my Jets hats because I got them. I own them. But I am not a Jet fan anymore. I've taken that away, baby. Speedy, you are now the Jet fan and a Giant fan. I am staying away from New York as far as football is concerned. You know what? I'm a Buffalo Bills fan now.
At least Speedy's loyal. You're just giving him up. You're just giving him up now.
I'm done. I'm
putting. That's tough. Done. That's tough.
Now, listen, I'm 42 years old. I watched 42 years of terrible football. I'm done. Actually, I started watching football when I was 6. So that's a little bit less than that. I would say 36 years of crap. I don't want to watch it anymore. I'm done. I'll just be an Eagles/Buffalo Bills fan.
Hey, I'm still a Raiders fan, and we're not doing so hot.
All right, Bruce, stop it. You're really throwing me under the bus now. You're throwing me to the wall. I'm upset. Fish has a sour face right now. I feel so bad. What's going on with Fish over there? He's not a happy camper right now. It's okay, Fish. Things happen. Shit happens. You see, I don't curse on this show, but anyways, Max, obviously you were in the majors for a very long time. We've had you on the show quite a few times. You've been playing in the Mexican League for a couple of years. Obviously, Mr. Bauer over there, and he was a dominant force. And for some reason, still, the MLB will not let this guy back in there. I mean, this guy, he has been the MVP. He was the Cy Young over there in Mexico. He was the Cy Young in Japan. What is it going to take for this guy to actually step on a major league field once again? It's despicable the way the MLB works.
I'm here to tell you, I've talked to some people in baseball world and stuff, and I just think it's him, dude. He spent 2 years just bashing the MLB. Like, I mean, it's like I tell people all the time, it's like has nothing to do with his pitchability. The dude's great. Like, when he's on the bump, he's great. But it's he gets relieved of his job. He goes to Japan, he goes to Mexico, whatever he's pitching. And this whole time he's constantly sat there and talked shit about Manfred in the Major League Baseball. Like, he sees the contracts that go on. He's making smart remarks on the internet. Obviously, everybody watches, what he says and what he does. I don't think it has anything to do with his ability to pitch. Dude's one of the best on the planet. It's just the fact that he has spent so much time creating controversy online, like they don't see it. Like it's like you get fired from your job and you want to get rehired, but for the last 2 years you're sitting here talking shit about your former employee or your employer. It's like who wants to deal with that? I think everything with him has to do with who he is as a person. And right now, nobody wants to welcome that into a clubhouse, because when he was in the league, they could tolerate it, but it's gotten worse since he's been gone. And nobody wants him coming in the clubhouse and disrupting whatever chemistry they might have in a clubhouse. What he's perceiving is he's an eye guy. Like he's the first person to go down to Mexico and have a being mic'd up during a game. Like it's not about Mexico City. It's about Trevor Bauer. It's a Trevor Bauer show. And nobody, like I said, they've spent 2 years without him. They've realized probably it's been a little more peaceful, and they don't want to welcome that type of behavior back. Um, just simply because it's a lot to deal with. Anybody that welcomes them back, yeah, they're going to get a great pitcher, but then they also got their hands full when it comes to the person that they're rehiring, man. I think it's a tough topic to bring up. And at the end of the day, I mean, I don't think anybody really wants him as a teammate. Like, to be completely honest with you. Now, I'm not speaking for everyone, and I'm not speaking from personal experience, but what you're seeing, nobody wants to come deal with that in the States. Like, nobody wants that in the clubhouse or on the field, the shenanigans. I mean, they already had the stuff with when, he gets pulled out of Cleveland and launches the ball in center field when he was in Kansas City.
Oh, I love that.
Like,
How
yeah,
did you not like that? That's funny.
but at the time, like, he was in the league, right? So like they dealt with it. But now that they've gotten him out and it's only been perceived to be worse, like they're not gonna give that dude a chance unless and I've talked to people and I've seen it. And I was like, dude, if he just was quiet for a year and just went out and pitched, he'd probably have a better opportunity, because it has nothing to do with his ability to pitch. Dude's great.
No,
So-
and Bruce, I agree. Sorry, Speedy, but being his teammate, I 100,000% agree with you. It's not his pitchability. It's not anything that is from the baseball side of things. But Trevor's a lot. He's a lot. And now that Trevor has gained, I guess, some traction on the social media side of things, where to be mic'd up and do all this other stuff, like, and he's a lot to handle. Like, and when you listen to certain things and how he says it, and you hit the nail on the head, like, if you're going to continue to bash your previous employer and how nobody is going to give you an opportunity, because exactly what it is, you know how clubhouses work. One bad apple fucking ruins it for everybody. And it makes everybody miserable, because at the same time, whether we want to admit it or not, if he came into the clubhouse to whatever team you want to use, we can use anybody as an example, you're going to have to answer questions about him.
Correct.
And that is part of why nobody's going to take him on, because there is a lot to take on. Not only are you going to have to answer questions, you're going to have to deal with his nonsense. He's going to want to be interviewing you while you're trying to get ready for a game for his YouTube or whatever it is, where at the end of the day, we're trying to win a World Series. We're not over here trying to get our social media account up. Like, that will happen organically. And if it doesn't, then great. But I still won a championship and I got paid a buttload of money. But there is so many things that come with him that no team's willing to take the chance on. And you got leaders of teams. If you came to me as the GM, president, coach, whatever, and it's like, hey, we're thinking about signing Bauer, and my captain or the leader of my team, what are you going to say? It's not that we don't think that he can't pitch, because we know he can pitch, but it's all the other stuff you got to deal with that nobody wants to take their hands on.
It's like it's not his pitchability isn't worth what the rest of the stuff that he brings.
Yeah, because he's still going to run his mouth.
Yeah, 100%.
That's not going to
100%.
stop.
And nobody wants him to do that in their uniform, because what's going to happen is you're going to run across what's going to happen is he's going to run across if he hops into somebody's locker room, he's going to run across some veteran. Some veteran
That's
is
going to whoop
going
his ass.
he's going to beat his ass. And then guess what? Now we got two problems in the locker room.
Yep.
Now we got all these issues surrounding one organization, and the man has been there for 2 days. And because at the end of the day, like you said, Joe, like when we're in the locker room, like it doesn't matter what team you're on. When you're in the locker room, you want to stay out of politics. You want to stay out of the way of those type of conversations, because in the locker room, nobody cares. We're all there to make money. Like we're all there to win, and we're all there to take care of that organization in our own capacities. Like nobody's got time to sit around and be like, hey, how's it feel? Like first question, I guarantee it. Say, just throwing a team out there, say he goes to, seeing how we're talking about New York, say he goes to the Yankees. Just say the first day of spring training, the first interview is going to go straight to Judge, and he's going to be like, hey, how's it feel to have Bauer on your team? What do you think's going to happen with Bauer this year? This and here. Guess who they're going to go to next? They're going to go to Giancarlo. Hey, how do you receive Trevor Bauer? Are you excited about being here? Like it's going to be centered around him, just because he's such a controversial topic. Like and to put it into perspective, like the year after I knelt, right, 18, like the year after I knelt. And even in the back half of 17, like that was the center of conversations, right? And they were asking my teammates. And, I told my teammates, I was like, hey, I don't need you to go to bat for me. Like, speak your truth. Like, we're all teammates here. And I did it in a way where my teammates understood that I wasn't doing it to cause problems. I was doing it because of my personal beliefs, right? And, but still, it's still a lot, right? And guess what? I left in 18, and, I went down to Mexico, and guess what? I just played. Like I didn't talk anything about the MLB. I didn't tweet anybody. I wasn't out here making a podcast about how they mistreated me. Nothing. I just went and played ball. I went back with the Mets. Same thing. No issues with the Mets. Like was in their org. Didn't get an opportunity to come back up to the big time, but I went there and I did my part and I went home. Like it's just a different situation. Like he is so much. He brings so much drama and controversy to a clubhouse. Somebody is gonna fight him, 1,000%, and it's not going to be their fault. They're just going to be tired of dealing with them.
So I saw on your Twitter you're very adamant about the A's obviously moving to Las Vegas in a couple of years or playing in Sacramento, and you were taking shots at John Fisher being the owner that he is. So give your thoughts on that whole situation.
I just think it's bad for baseball, man. Like that was the first organization I ever played for, my tenured organization, 7 years with those guys. And I developed a really good rapport with the community. And also like Oakland A's is history. It's history. It's rich in history. Some of the best baseball players to ever play the game wore the green and gold. Even if you take it off the field too, some of the most historical events in America's history happened in the Bay Area. But to see the league allow that to happen because of greed or whatever the reason may be, it's something that's detrimental to the game of baseball. I mean, that community is strong. They're resilient. They never back down from anything. And now what's happening is, now that the fans have stood their ground and stood up for their community, now everybody's saying, oh, well, if the A's fans came to the games, this wouldn't be happening. And I was like, dude, when I was coming up, dude, we had fans. Like we had fans, like in 16, 17, and 18, we had fans. And it slowly got worse because they weren't paying the players to be able to stay there. They're gouging the teams. Like there was a running joke around that the A's were a feeder team to the rest of the league.
Right.
Like and those diehard A's fans, like I came up with Matt Chapman, Matt Olson, Chad Pender. I came up with a lot of those guys, and to see them be all-stars on other teams simply because they didn't want to pay them, like, bro, these are homegrown guys. Like these are the guys that come around that are franchise players, right? Like And to just see the overall lack of empathy and the lack of involvement from the front office it's a shame for the game of baseball, but also, I mean, it's just a shame for the city, dude. And like I go up there and I still communicate and do things with the ballers. I still go up to the ports and do things because obviously I played there. But it's like to see what they've done and just gouge like the city of Oakland for no apparent reason. Like you're going to go to SAC for 3 years. Like you're going to spend all that money to renovate Sacramento, which is already not the greatest of places to play. It's already not the greatest of cities to be in. You're going to go spend all that money and then you're going to spend the money for the new stadium when you could have just easily paid your players in Oakland. And guess what? You'd have 30,000 fans at every game.
Dude, one of the best right fields ever. Like that fan base in right
100%.
field was, I mean, during BP I was always in right field, and you know, I played long enough to where I actually got to know some of them because we were there all the time. And man, they showed out, they showed up, like, and it was all love, like it was all real.
Yep.
And you know, I mean, there's a story about Frenchie, like how he got to know all them and he bought them all pizza. And like that was just the fans they were. And they would give you shit, but the best part is they were so cool. Like if you gave it back, they loved like, because I would always warm up and stretch because our bullpen's right there.
Yeah.
So I'd always just run down and get loose in about the 5th or 6th inning. And I would always hear some chirps and I was like, I hear you. And they loved it. And the back and forth, and man, one of the coolest right fields that is in baseball. I mean, I wholeheartedly agree with that. And they did a disservice to them by moving it out of there because the real fans deserved better than what they're getting, for sure.
Dude, I used to play softball with some of those people.
Yeah.
Like I still am friends with a couple of those guys, and like I've been on some of the podcasts, but like when I was there, man, I would go watch some of those guys play softball. Like we'd go to dinner, we'd go bowling, like we'd go hang out on off days and stuff. Like hell, the people over in the section that was over by our bullpen, okay, these people became family to me. They came to spring training, dude. There was a few ladies over there that communicated with my mom and dad on social media. Like they knew my mom. They were friends. They were family friends, right? Like I even had a lady, Heidi Brivet, like rest in peace. But she came. I was in, where was I at? I think I was playing for Team Germany. I was warming up to play for Team Germany in the Classic before COVID shut us down. And we came out to the Padres place to play their AA team for a spring training game. And Heidi drove all the way over just to say hello to me. Like she came and saw me in my Deutschland jersey, gave me a hug, talked to me. Hey, how's your mom doing? How's your father? Like this, that, and the other. And that's the type of. And then she passed away, you know, a couple years later because of COVID. But it's like that's the type of like community that they are. Like those people gave me a place to call home, far, far, far away from my home, you know. And it was like I went to the last game of the Battle of the Bay this year in Oakland, and I got to see, you know, Bob Melvin on the other side and Ryan Christensen and then all of our coaches and stuff. Dude, I was sitting in that game. I was there for about 4 innings, and you could see people crying. Like you could see people upset. Like there was guys that I knew, like even security guys. Like I walked up to that place. I haven't been there in years. And they walked up, I walked up in the players lot and they knew exactly who I was. They gave me big old hugs, asking me how my family was doing. Like that place was a family. Like these people, it was historical. Like these people raised their kids to be green and gold because it was a tradition. Like that was the centerpiece of that city. Like the Raiders, yeah, cool, whatever. Warriors, whatever, they were new. But the A's, man, that shit means everything to those people, dude. And I felt bad for them because some of my best friendships and relationships that I have today is from being an Oakland A. You know, I would never have met those people if I played for another team. And they treated me, at the end of the day, they treated me like a person. Like they didn't treat me like a superstar. They didn't treat me like, oh my God, this is a big leaguer. No, they treated me like Bruce. and I'll never be able to repay them for that. And that's why I'm so passionate about it, because they're ruining lives because of greed. Like you're telling me, and like I was talking about earlier, Speedy, you're telling me you could spend all this money on a new stadium and renovating SAC, but you couldn't spend a portion of that to keep homegrown guys in the stadium? Like give the fans people that they actually have seen grow and become adults and be able to be those franchise players for the A's for years to come. Like that's too much to ask. Like I was there for 7 years. I think I met Fisher twice, maybe. like it's just it's a tough situation, man, and it's upsetting. It's like, and I tell people, I was like, to me, it's like if you take the Dodgers out of LA, you take the Red Sox out of Boston, you take the Cubs out of Chicago, not because of the multi-million-dollar players they have, because of the history that the stadium and the team stand for. That's the upsetting part.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Joba's tearing up.
Yeah, no, I mean it sucks because like, and the thing about it too is like we see it from such a different aspect, and I'm glad, Bruce, you pointed out too, like you have some lifelong security guards that have been there for 30, 40 years. They've raised their family. They know when baseball season comes, this is what we do. And it changes so many aspects. And as players, we see it because it's like that's the first person you see smile when you pull into the player's lot. That's the first security guard you see walking into the clubhouse.
Mm-hmm.
And you remove all of that, and for what? Greed.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have so many people like the hawkers and the security guards and the concession stand people that have been there for 10, 20, 30 years, and you're removing it all because for what reason? And it's frustrating because I loved playing there. I mean, I loved getting the extra outs too because the foul area was giving me a little love. But it was one of those things where, like, I remember the security guard in our bullpen, and big black dude, he'd give me a hug every time I came to the bullpen. Would sit there, just chill, give me a huge hug, and be like, "How are you? How's your son?"
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you get to know all these guys, and now you're uprooting all of what they've done for so long, and it's for what reason? I don't get it. I hate it for the fans, the real fans.
Yeah,
because it's not in the greatest area.
No,
there's nothing around it.
Mm-mm.
So you're going there because you're a fan. I'm just being honest.
Yeah,
I'm just saying what it is.
And the people that work there, dude, you think they're working there because they're trying to make some extra money? No, they're working there because they love the A's. They're working there because they love baseball. They love people. Like it's not, and that's the thing. Like, yeah, as a player, could they have upgraded the bullpens and stuff? Yes. Could they have upgraded the clubhouses and stuff? Yes. The dugouts? Yes. They could have done those things, but that would have been the seats, whatever it is. Like, they didn't have to change anything about the stadium outside potentially renovating it a little bit to make it a little better for the fans and the players. But at the end of the day, like, when you put that uniform on, man, and you walk out on that field, it was awesome. Like, I loved it. Like, I didn't love the foul ground, but like, guess
I
what?
did.
The dude, yeah, the dude. I loved it when we were on defense, but like, the grounds crew, the grounds crew, like 30 years, 25, 30 years. Guess what? I play Call of Duty with a couple of those dudes to this day, right? But I became friends with these guys. Like I remember my rookie year. I remember my rookie year that I think it was probably close to a month in. Like I think it was after a game. Dude, I went and got beers for the guys, dude, and we just sat in the back in the warehouse and just kind of talked and shot the shit. Like, and I stayed at the stadium like an hour and a half, 2 hours after the game, just talking to the grounds crew, and it's like they're people, man. And that's the thing. I think, like I said, that's what bothers me. Like there's so much that mattered to me. The feeling you get when you put on the green and gold, the feeling you get when you step into that stadium. You look up at the banners and you see Eckersley, Stewart, Ricky Henderson. You're just reminded of how much
Canseco.
history. Yeah. Yeah.
Carol's favorite baseball player.
I can't stand him.
Well,
I
it's
can't
just like
stand him.
it's just like you just remember so much history that's come through there, and the guys that have put on that uniform, dude, they're some of the best to ever do it.
Mm.
Like you know, and like I said, it's just upsetting, bro. Like that even happened. And like there's no, that's a hell of a clip right there. Hell of a clip. But there's no reason for it because the
Yeah.
A's fans, man, they care so much. And you saw it, like, you know, they had sold out crowds the last of the season. But guess what they did? They raised ticket prices because of it. You know, they were gouging ticket prices and stuff to gain more money on those final games. As they should have been giving those damn things out for free. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, like they're not, you know, they chose not to renovate. They chose not to pay the players and all these things. Like, and the fans, dude, like I said, the fans got tired of seeing their franchise players being all-stars for other teams, period, because they didn't want to pay them. I was like, dude, the A's owner's like the fourth richest dude in baseball.
Yep. Now the real question: you mentioned Call of Duty. Did you play with Kyler Murray when he was there?
No, I don't even know that dude. Like
Oh.
he was brief, but I can't remember what draft that was, but I don't think I was in the big leagues when that happened. I don't think I was in the big, but I never met the dude. Like,
Kyler Murray was a first-round draft pick that'll probably never stand or actually play on a baseball field. So,
well, he did play on a baseball field. He played in spring training.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. He's
Oh.
never going to play on the professional team ever.
yeah,
I think
but I mean, he made a smart decision.
Yeah,
I mean, 100%, dude. You getting paid all that money to be a quarterback in the NFL? Yeah, I'll take it. Like, over grinding out potentially 5-6 years in the minor leagues, getting paid $2,000 a month. Like, I'm 1,000% taking it. Like, that was a smart business decision by him.
Bruce, before we let you go, how are you and your woman, man? I mean, I know she listens to this show whenever you're on. How's the woman? I saw you waving at her. Was that her?
No, that wasn't her. That was one of my boys.
Oh, okay.
He was trying to come in here and talk, and I was like, I'm busy. Like, talk to you afterwards, dog.
So long.
No, everything's good, man. I'm navigating this world outside of baseball right now. Got an offer, obviously, as you put on a thing, to coach some professional softball down in Mexico.
Congratulations.
One friend of mine that I've known her for years. She's a Mexican American. She played for Team Mexico on the national level, and this is the second year of this league, and they're trying to really kind of build it out, you know, down there. And so she asked me to come down there and help her coach, just kind of give these players some experience. And down in Mexico, I have a rather household name when it comes to baseball. So it would just kind of bring a little more eyes to the league as a whole too. And so I have that opportunity in the spring. I'm coaching out here in California right now. I actually just first started my first day at Corona High School, which is currently the #1 high school baseball program in the nation.
Wow.
As their catching guy. Just trying to navigate, you know, this world, you know, after 13 years of catching and stuff, trying to think about other things than playing, and just trying to kind of get my foot in the door down here because I'm not from out here, so I'm like rubbing shoulders and trying to meet people and get all acquainted and let people know I'm out here.
You'll be fine, man. I think you have a great personality. You could do anything, and you're a catcher, and most catchers usually become very successful in the majors everywhere they go because they navigate everything on the field. They're the captain. They're the guy that runs everything on the field and gives all the signals from the management in the dugout. So
Yeah. So my end goal is I want to run a college program one of these days. So I'm not too like enthusiastic about coaching in pro ball. But I really want to help these kids develop and get to that dream. And it starts in high school, college, whatever it may be. I want to build a program out and be able to help these young men not only be better baseball players, but better young men.
Well,
So
you could do it. There's no question. And I know you were waiting patiently to get on the show, but we really appreciate the time. We'll get you on a lot sooner.
yeah,
We like to talk baseball, but again, we appreciate the time. Good luck on the season over there in the Mexican League with the professional softball team, and we'll talk to you soon, buddy.
no, for sure. I appreciate you guys being patient. I was a little late. Traffic is hell out here in LA.
Yeah, you're in California, duh.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Why the hell did you pick there?
So my wife's actually from here, like
Oh.
out here, and so it's SoCal or nothing, pretty much. And I don't really have the greatest of
Happy wife, happy life. There you go.
yeah, but like she loves it out here, and I'm from Alabama, dude. I'm from the country. Like, and when it comes to baseball, there's nothing really there for me. So there was no reason for me to go back home. And so building out a rapport with these programs and these kids out here, every year some of the top kids in the country like come out of this Southern California area. So I want to be the catching guy out here. I want these guys to learn what I have to offer, and I want to teach and I want to influence, whether it be on the field or off. I just want to be a guy out here, so trying to navigate that. It's a bigger market. They play baseball damn near year round out here because of the weather. And so there's nothing pushing me going back east. So I just decided to bite the bullet and pay $60 for my car to get filled up every other day, and but we're getting used to it. I've been out here a couple months, so it's not too terrible.
It's so funny. We have a catcher and a pitcher. Speedy, what would you rather be, the catcher or the pitcher?
I gotta go with the pitcher on that one.
Oh, you would rather pitch the ball, not catch. You don't
Bruce,
want to be a catcher.
there's a lot of wear and tear on your body. I don't know.
I'm sure there is.
You don't listen. You don't want my job, and Joba will tell you too. You don't want my job. Like, there's a whole lot more that goes on behind the scenes that a lot of people don't see. I mean, my knees are perfectly fine. Like, I take care of myself, but there's a whole lot more, dude. That
Bruce, we're not even talking about that, but that's
oh Jesus God! See, this is go back to being a Jets fan, dude. Be loyal one time.
First of all, I'm the most loyal fan out there. That's the problem.
You just talked about throwing away the Jets. Okay.
Listen, I'm the one that sits here every single show making excuses for this organization. There is no.
What you're supposed to. That's what you're supposed to do.
They can eat rocks. I can kick rocks, and we.
Yeah, you just gave up on them. So.
Be quiet.
You just gave them the shoe.
Yours.
You gave them the shoe. You act like they're out there trying to lose. Okay.
Yeah, they are.
you go put some pads on and help them then. How about that?
I think I have a better chance of catching the ball than half the guys out there. But anyways, Bruce, we really appreciate the time, and we'll talk to you soon, buddy.
No worries, man. Just I'll get on here anytime, man. I appreciate you guys. Joe, good to see you. Joba, good to see you, bro.
Bruce. We can cheer all the time, right? Give me a Bruce.
Bruce.
Give me louder.
Bruce.
Bruce. There you go.
Oh,
Bruce, you sound like you're about to hump something.
I'm not my dog.
I'm
not my dog. Believe me, that's not going to happen.
At least your dog's not licking your ass, Speedy.
Yeah, but he's humped me too. So I know I don't have those instincts.
You guys are ridiculous.
That's a good way to put it, Bruce.
I love it. But yeah, whenever you guys want me back on, man, let me know.
Well, we love you, Bruce. Keep up the good work. We'll talk to you soon, buddy.
I appreciate it, guys. See you guys later.
Pleasure.
Bruce Maxwell, ladies and gentlemen, as he spoke so highly of Oakland and obviously what that stadium stands for and what it stood for him and really who he is as a player really speaks volumes of what he felt of the fans over there. And you said it best, Joba. What Oakland stands for when it comes to baseball, even football. Do you know how many fans were crying that the football team went to Vegas? I mean, the fans are traveling from Oakland every single weekend to go and watch the Raiders play in Vegas. How far is that? That's what, like 300, 400 miles that you got to drive every single game, well, it's not every single week. It's like 8 weeks in a year, in the year of the season. And you got to travel out there to watch your team play home games. That's horrible. That's terrible. All the faithful Raider fans. So now you got to do it for the Oakland A's or whatever they're going to call them, the Vegas A's now moving forward.
It sounds so weird.
Mm-hmm.
But I think like what people don't understand, and I'm glad we were able to touch on it a little bit, is like how it affects so many people. It's not only just the fact that they're moving, but you have people that have been there for 15, 20, 25, 30 years. There might even be more, where now that's most of their years done. Like now they've got to find something to do. And people don't understand it takes so much to be able to make a game flow. And that's like, we get there before everybody. But you know what? Who gets there before us? All the people that work there.
Mm-hmm.
They just get to see us. And that is one thing. I don't know if you guys know this, but that is one thing that I always try to make sure. But there's a great story about Mike Krzyzewski. He made sure that his players knew everybody by their first name because he goes, we're only as good as all of them taking care of us. So the security guard that's right there to let you in to the locker room, what's his name? And he would give him quizzes. He would give him tests. And I would always make sure, like I literally still talk to half the people that were behind the scenes that I was fortunate enough to be able to play with and be a part of our organization. And I just think people don't really realize how important that is.
Well, it's a shame, but that's sports and it's all about money. It's become a business. It's not about the love, even fantasy. You're not even a fan of those teams anymore. You're a fan of the players,
right?
And following those players. It's horrible. I don't like it. I think these kids don't understand what it is to be a fan. They just like basketball fans. They're the biggest front runners of them all. They wear Steph Curry jerseys because Golden State Warriors for back-to-back years were a sensational team. Now they're playing good basketball, so everybody's back in the bandwagon. This is the problem with sports. It's become more of a player's game than a team game. And it's an unfortunate situation, and it doesn't work. As for a person that grew up watching sports and following teams, not players. And everybody says, listen, I'm only speaking the truth about the New York Jets. Am I going to give away my fandom? Obviously not. Am I upset about the organization and the team? Yeah, but I'm going to stand for what I say. I am not going to sit and watch horrible football anymore and be a fan of a team that gives up every single year and show disrespect to the fans when the fans stand behind them. The Jet fans are the biggest and the most faithful fans in all of professional sports. As we know, there are guys that have 40,000 people following them on their YouTube channel talking about crap they know nothing about, okay? But they speak and the fans listen to them. Oh, I like this guy. I'm not going to speak about who it is or who they are, but I think you know who I'm speaking about. So I just think it's pathetic.